What's up? I must make this response. This is directed at you, napalmtube. I'm going to try to be as polite as possible because I can see that you were trying to be very genuine and whatever. So, let me try to be as polite as possible. Now, to catch anyone up that is not aware of what I'm talking about, napalmtube has decided that atheism is repugnant and evil or something, and that now he's a Catholic, which I think is quite a jump. Atheism, repugnant and evil. Catholicism, good? I mean, if you're going to become a Christian, like, all of a sudden, but we'll get to that later, but I mean, if you're going to become some form of Christianity, why don't you pick one that isn't responsible for so much death and so many lies and so much persecution? You know, that seems to be a little bit more consistent with what anyone would consider good, right? But that's not really the point, because you didn't just become a Christian. The title of your video is wrong. napalmtube, you are not coming home. You never left. I think that's quite clear. I don't know why you decided you were an atheist if you really weren't. I don't know why you said that. I think that's a question you need to ask yourself. Why would you say that if that's not how you felt, right? I mean, because when it comes to your anarchism, it seems that that's how you felt, but you learned some information that changed your mind along the way. As far as the atheism goes, it seems like you were being an atheist because it was the cool thing to do, or I don't know, right? I don't understand what the fuck's up with that. Don't say you're something that you're not. That's not a Christian thing to do either. Alright? Now, you want to talk about arbitrary, alright? You're discussing your depression, which I feel your pain. Let me be honest with you. I have been, and probably currently am, a depressed human being. Why am I depressed? Partially it has to do with my inability to form relationships with people of the opposite sex, and that'll piss anybody off. But a large part of my depression has to do with the stupidity that I see and just the evil I see perpetrated everywhere around me. Evil really that's committed in the name of stupidity. That's where my depression comes from, and it really fucks with my head. I don't like seeing it. Every time I turn on the TV or look on the internet or whatever, I see something that freaks me out, right? But basically, you've decided you're a Christian because it somehow is helping you cure your depression or whatever, which means that this is not really how you feel, okay? You're using this as a drug to fix your depression. Now let's talk about how arbitrary religion used as a depression aid can be. You talked about how you felt like you might have become suicidal if you continued to deny Christ or whatever it is in your head. The only time I ever considered killing myself is when I still believed in God and I couldn't quite figure out why he would be responsible for all this terrible shit that was happening to me, right? So that shows how arbitrary this issue is, okay? You claim to have felt suicidal because you felt no meaning without God, but I felt suicidal when I saw the evils allowed to be committed with God's presence. So really this is a non-issue, okay? This is not an argument for God, okay? Maybe you feel better being a Christian, okay? And you're talking about logic. You use the argument that part of the reason that you have to believe in a higher power is because these external things like logic that are consistent with all people, these are the kind of things that makes you move towards God. Well, you've committed a failure in logic, okay? Just because it makes you feel better doesn't make it true, okay? Christianity might make you feel great. That does not make that true, okay? It makes me feel good to imagine I was a Jedi. Alright? That does not make me a Jedi. That does not make that true. It makes me feel good to imagine maybe there's a galaxy far, far away where there's Jedi and Sith fighting and all that cool shit. That does not make that true. Okay? Christianity does not become true just because it makes you feel better. Alright? Like, it's amazing to see the failure, like the instant failure in your ability, in your cognitive thinking, as soon as you slip back into Christianity. It goes like a light bulb. It's amazing. This is a perfect example of what the problem is here. Okay? You're talking about meaning, and you don't feel like your life has any meaning, and meaning. What is meaning? Meaning is something that I ascribe. That doesn't mean anything. And even if God is real, meaning is only something that God creates. I mean, really all you're doing is saying that you're not, your wishes are not as important as God's. You become a slave to God, which I think is interesting. I don't know. You start ascribing all of these other beliefs to atheism. Okay, there are no other beliefs attached with atheism. You can say there are all you want. That does not make it true. Stop doing that. Don't say that anymore. If you are going to be Christian napalmtube, stop saying that. It is not true. Okay? Me saying I'm an atheist you cannot guarantee anything about my moral values. I could be an atheist and still take my morals from the Bible because maybe I think they're good. Maybe I'm like, these morals seem to work. All right, I'll pick these. Or maybe I'll take them from the Quran. Or I'll pick them out of thin air. Or I'll pick and choose what I want. Okay? You stop. Don't do that. All right, dude? Don't. Okay? You're not going to be treated nicely on this issue just because you feel you've been genuine about it. All right? It's not going to stop you from committing logical fallacies and going to stop the things you're saying from being lies and misrepresentations. Okay. Thank you for saying my life has no meaning. That makes me feel very good about myself. I'm glad that you have confirmed the most evil thing about religious people. The thing that I've always felt was the most evil is that they believe that we have no value. So thank you that human life outside of your religion has no value to you. That tells me everything I need to know about what's wrong with you and religion. If you can't see that, something's fucked up. Okay? So I'd like to thank you for telling me my life has no purpose. I'd like you to tell all my subscribers that are atheists that their lives have no purpose. Thank you for telling all your subscribers who are atheists that their lives have no purpose. Thank you for telling the better part of 3,000 or 4,000 people that we have no purpose. Thank you. That's very kind. I mean, what purpose have you gained? What great purpose have you gained? To work for God? That's your purpose? How is that any better than anything that a human being can accomplish down here? To be in heaven is your great purpose? And if you're right, you and all the other billion Catholics, great, good job, thank you. That's awesome. I really, I don't know, that really pisses me off. My life has no purpose, but a pope, and you said you were a Catholic, a pope who tells people in Africa not to use condoms, right? Because it's a sin against the Lord. So more of them get AIDS and die, and their children get AIDS and die. His life has great purpose, right? But mine doesn't. That's fucking awesome. You know, it seems to me that what you needed was a hobby, okay? If you feel your life has no purpose, that is a problem. I agree with you, okay? A lot of people, you know, are missing in life. But by putting your purpose on religion, you've done nothing. You're not helping anyone. Nothing is being done. Why don't you get a hobby? Why don't you join a charity? Why don't you go join, some group that helps out underprivileged people in the ghetto? You know, why don't you go help some group that helps people get out of gangs? Or why don't you go volunteer at a nursing home? Or why don't you go collect canned food for the homeless? But you don't have to do any of that, do you now? That's all gone. You've eliminated the guilt that you feel for not doing shit, and said that because you're now a Catholic, that's covered. That part is covered. Your obligations to other human beings, over. Right? That's what you've done. Nothing more, nothing less. You have not gained any purpose. You have abandoned mankind. And you've ascribed worthlessness to a huge chunk of it. I mean, what am I supposed to say? What is somebody supposed to say when somebody comes out and says something like this? You know, and first of all, kids, teenagers, okay, any of you that might be like napalmtube, this is your example. A lot of you aren't atheists. You can't deal with it. You can't fucking deal with it. You cannot deal with not having your great father figure in the sky that's going to protect you and absolve you of any responsibility for your actions. You can't fucking handle that. And that's your problem. That is not my problem. That does not make my life worthless because you cannot handle your responsibilities as a human being. And this is perfect because there's a lot of teenagers, a lot of young people that do this. They claim atheism. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Okay? I might feel that's the right thing. Alright? But just saying it because to rebel or whatever, that's bullshit. Alright? So be honest with yourself, because admitting your problem is the first step to fixing it. Alright? I don't know, man. I'm extremely disappointed in you. Not only for being dishonest, which you were, but for spending a half an hour laying out bullshit, lies, slander, and arguments that have been disproved over and over and over again. You know this. You've seen it all, unless you just ignored it. You've seen it all. So what are you doing, man? Does becoming a Christian automatically make you a slimy liar? And I'm sorry that that's kind of harsh, but that's exactly what you fucking did. That is exactly what you fucking did. And being a Christian all of a sudden and feeling that you've come to some sort of revelation does not make you immune from the facts of life. And you're not going to be able to play the victim all of a sudden. Alright? Everyone's fucking depressed, okay? Everyone's life is fucked up. Alright? So you're not going to use that to get out of your responsibilities for the shit that you just said. Alright? Everyone's seen some fucked up shit. Go find somebody dying of AIDS in Africa and tell them about how you were depressed because you couldn't find meaning. He's depressed because he can't find a fucking meal, man. So I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know if you're thinking. I don't know if you fell into the trap of atheism can't be right because there's no way that they could know there could be no God. Of course. Alright? I can't be sure. Of course I can't be sure in the same way I can't be sure there aren't, like, ghosts or fairy elves that I only see when I have faith in them. Of course I can't be sure of that. That doesn't make it fucking true. You couldn't possibly know who God is and what the fuck He wants from your life, or what particular sexual orientation is damned to hell, or what particular sin gets you tortured for all of eternity. Do you realize what you just embraced? You say atheism gives no hope. Why do you need hope from a religious source? Why do you need that? Can't you get hope from your family? Can't you get hope from your friends? What? You're obviously missing something. There's something wrong with your life. All right. If you can't, why can't you find meaning? What do you mean that any legacy you leave behind will be forgotten? You might have children. Do your children not important? It's only you. Maybe you go on to science and you learn some new breakthrough that cures people of disease or advances human knowledge. I think that's very important, and I find it disgusting that you would suggest that nothing people have done is important. Okay, that anything that you getting to heaven and you feeling a little bit comforted by God and Christ is somehow more meaningful than anything that any human being has ever accomplished. Anything I accomplish, anything I do, all right. If I find a homeless man on the street, he's hot. It's hot. I did this the other day. He's standing outside the 7-Eleven. The dude's homeless. It's fucking hot as shit. I go and I buy him a bottle of water. I give him the bottle of water. Right? That is more of a legacy and more of an accomplishment and more of something, way more than anything you can do by absolving yourself of responsibility. Why? Because you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can just walk right by that motherfucker and go and pray. And of course, I could do the same thing. I could walk by and go home and jack off or whatever I'm going to do. All right? But I don't get any sense of instant absolvement from my guilt of not helping that person because I have Christ. You've introduced a crush into your life. You are now a broken human being. And I hope people aren't too nice to you on this, because you don't deserve it. No one gets any breaks from me. No one. No Christian, no religious person anywhere gets a fucking break from me. Not a single one. Not my grandparents, not my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. Not a single goddamn person gets a fucking break. Not even a person dying of cancer gets a goddamn break. You want to know why? Because the shit's not true. It's not true. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It was something created by people to control your life, take money from you, and make you commit hate in the name of some all-powerful sky father. It does not exist. It is not real. No matter how good it makes you feel, that doesn't make it exist. There will be no respect to the religious. There will be no kindness, no friendship, and no camaraderie, because it shouldn't exist. Because you people are disease. You are contributing to a disease that is killing mankind. And I know that is harsh, but I don't care, because that's the way it is. People are dying every day because of the things that you believe. People are dying every day because of the things that you carry out in the name of your Heavenly Father. People are being persecuted every day because of the things that you believe and the things you do in the name of your Heavenly Father. People are being left to starve and die rather than being helped because people feel that prayer will fix the problem. Children with cancer, children with fucking cancer are being denied care by their parents because they feel that prayer will help. And that these children are dying. That is what you have become a part of. Again, or you were always a part of. That's what you were a part of. There's nothing good that can come from that. Nothing at all. Ever. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm in the Scouts. I've done charity. I've helped people. I guarantee you I've done more charity than you. And at any of that period of time that I believe in God, no, I didn't. Did I need God to help me help people? Fuck no. Why? Because I might have some empathy for other human beings. I might give a shit about what happens to them. I feel that other lives have value besides mine, and that other people's comfort is just as important as mine is. And I didn't need a dogmatic book to tell me these things. So no, you have not found meaning, and you have not proven that somehow my life is meaningless. All you've done is absolve yourself of the responsibilities of being a human fucking being, because that's what we are. We are animals. We are social creatures, and you've absolved yourself of any responsibility to contribute to that society. That is what you have done. I'm not going to unsubscribe to you. I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to see how long it takes you to get back to where you were before. And I'm going to see how this progresses, because I'm curious. Because you're obviously a very intelligent human being. I know this. And I respect your opinion on certain issues. So I'm curious as to see how long it takes you to get back to the original point. Alright? Anyone who sees this, that thinks this is harsh, fuck you. napalmtube, if you see this and you think this is harsh, that's too bad. That's what you asked for. That's what you were a part of. So that's that. That's it. Have fun with whatever the fuck you're doing. This is Chris. I'm getting the fuck out of here.